Hello again, everyone. Thanks very much for tuning in. Just quickly, I just want to apologise for yesterday. The sound was a little bit dodgy. I think I fixed it, so hopefully that shouldn't be a problem today. But I'm back once again with my notepad with notes, because that's what you use a notepad for, is to make notes and just to write things down in general. I'm going off topic. Let's get back on topic. So, Battlefront 2. That was quite a nice little reveal, wasn't it? Quite enjoyed that. A lot to take in, not just from the panel, but also from a couple of the interviews that happened sort of after it and around the panel. But perhaps the biggest thing at the moment, well, I say the biggest thing, but one of the biggest things is the confirmed release date, which is of course 17th of November or the 14th if you pre-order. Well, it is in the UK. I'm not sure about anywhere else, so obviously don't take my word for it. But I pre-ordered it and it said 14th, so that's pretty much what I'm basing this on. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here to take in. We're finally getting a single-player campaign. I mean, I love Battlefront. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great game. I still play it to this day, obviously, as you can see. But it was lacking that single-player. Whether it was conquest mode, which I really hope they do add in, because that was a lot of fun from the original Battlefront 2. That makes sense. But yeah, so we didn't really have much in the way. We had the skirmish mode and the sort of mission things, which were all right. Skirmish mode was all right, but you only had Fighter Squadron and Walker Assault, and you could only have like the maps from the original game. So it was a bit of a letdown. I'm going to be honest. But with this one, a full on campaign, which and it was confirmed that it is canon as well. So that's really cool. That's quite the thing with Star Wars. They're always banging on about what's canon and what's not canon. So this is definite canon, and it sounds epic. Spanning 30 years, the 30-year gap between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and they've gone not so much down the route that you'd think. Obviously, they've gone with the Imperial Special Forces squad, the Inferno squad. I believe it's, yeah, Inferno squad. So that's quite a bold move that they're taking the other side, going down the Imperial route, considering they're meant to be the bad guys and playing it out as if they're the good guys. It's very bold, it's very risky, but I think it could be quite good. And it just, it's weirdly, it parallels sort of the real world in the sense that people fighting on different sides of a war, they always think that they're fighting the good fight, that theirs is the just cause. I mean, and it's just on both sides you've got people who are just fighting for either for what they believe in, or they're forced into a fight, and you get good and bad people on both sides. I mean, look at Rogue One. A lot of the rebels in there, they weren't squeaky clean. They'd all. I mean, Cassian himself says that they've all done things that they're not proud of. And you just sort of think of sort of the real world. You look at back in, it's a bit of a history lesson, but back in World War One, you had the whole German soldiers and British soldiers playing football on Christmas Day. There are good people on both sides. There are bad people on both sides. So it's an interesting take on it, that they're sort of, it's not sort of black and white anymore. Sort of what I was saying yesterday with the Last Jedi trailer, is that there's sort of, it's more complicated than good versus evil. But it sounds, either way, it sounds great. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's going to be, and the fact that I think they said that you can play as Luke and Kylo Ren during this campaign, so you're going to switch around a bit. So that's quite exciting. That sounds really, really good. But obviously, one of the main components, if not the main component of any game really these days, especially a shooter, is that multiplayer. I mean, the multiplayer, I still enjoy the multiplayer for the original Battlefront. I have a great time with it. I have a lot of fun with it, but it was lacking that depth. And I think like one of the things they were saying, they wanted to add breadth and depth, so you're going to get more content, it covering all eras. So we've got the Clone Wars, the original trilogy, and the new trilogy. One of the things that really makes me laugh is I was reading some of like the comments and stuff on Facebook. People fucking hated the prequel films, And I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the prequel films, but people hate the prequels. They absolutely loathe them. Yet, if you don't include prequel stuff in a game, people lose their shit over it. And it's like, well, which one is it? But I guess it just goes to show that it makes it more frustrating, actually, the prequels, in the sense that the assets that were created or expanded upon had so much potential that people like the individual assets, just not in the stories that George Lucas created for the prequel trilogy. It's a shame, really, that people really like these different things. Like they obviously, everyone loves Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, myself included. Where is the Obi-Wan film? I want an Obi-Wan film. Anyway, so people are passionate about the stuff that's in it, but not the stories itself. So that's quite interesting, really. Again, I'm going off topic, but sort of going back in, sort of bring it back into Battlefront. You've got all eras to fight through. That was something that was I think it's something that's been thrown about a bit and then confirmed in the leaked trailer, or the leaked teaser to the teaser trailer. Obviously, the actual trailer was goosebumps again for the second time this weekend. Goosebumps. So you're going to get all the different eras with their own units, their own heroes and vehicles and stuff like that. And now the thing that's probably the most exciting about this is the fact that there is the customization and the upgrades. They kept referring to it as the hero's journey, and you'd be able to upgrade your soldier, or of course you've got the different classes now as well. So that's great. So you've got the officer, the infantry, and then the heavy, and the specialist, which I think is the sniper. So you've got these different classes, and then obviously you'll have the heroes on top of that. And I think everything is upgradable, including the heroes and the vehicles as well. So that just blows my mind, in the sense that you can have a hero and make him even more powerful, but customize him or she, him or her, to however you want to play the game. And I think it's really cool that you can take, even if it's just like one of the classes, you can choose your class, and then you can take that particular class and then sort of customize them and upgrade them, and really, as they say, go on a journey with them. So it seems as though that the gameplay options are going to be more. There's going to be more variety there, and the ability to really get attached to your character, I guess. Like, it's almost like it's an online RPG where you're constantly leveling up and changing bits and pieces to the character to make them your own, and you get attached to them. So that sounds fantastic. It does sound as if they really listen to what the fans have been saying, because Battlefront itself, the core gameplay is fantastic. It was literally just the features and like the different aspects of the game that were lacking until the expansion packs were released. So it's good that they've taken everything on board, and then they're expanding on it, but making it relevant to the game. They're not just throwing bits in, they're doing it to enhance the gameplay. So it sounds as if they've taken notice to what people were saying. And so that's really, really good. Speaking of expansion packs, the thing that I discovered this morning is now EA are a bit cagey on this. I think they didn't really want to spill the beans on this just yet, because they haven't sort of ironed out all the kinks and haven't got the alternatives in place. But there is the prospect that there is going to be no season pass for this game. That is a good thing, I think, because the expansion packs are great. I really, really enhances the game, but it's frustrating that you have to fork out extra money, and then you either find yourself on two sides of it. You're either like me, you didn't get the season pass for ages, so you're very limited and you can't play all the gameplay modes, and you're limited in terms of who you can play with and the matches that you get. But then when you've got the season pass, it's sort of almost the flip side of it, that you're not getting matches because not everyone has the season pass. So it's kind of like, it's difficult. But obviously, how are they going to do this? How are they going to... Because obviously there's going to be expansion packs. There's always expansion packs and DLC these days. That's just a given. So it'd be interesting to see how they're going to achieve how they're going to achieve this, because ultimately, at the end of the day, EA are in it to make money, so they're going to have to work a way of getting a significant return. Maybe, I mean, it's not going to be free, I think. Whatever DLC, it's not going to be free, but maybe they should do something like similar to mobile games or certain games where you can pay for stuff, so you can make it unlockable for when they want to release it. They can still stagger the release of the DLCs, because it does sound as if like there's going to be a lot of content to begin with, so we're not going to be stuck for that for a while. So, you know, I think there's going to be a lot to do when the game first releases. But maybe when they sort of stagger the releases of whatever DLC they're going to do, maybe they can make it unlockable, but you can buy it if you want to. So it's not a pay for play. You can unlock it if you sort of complete such and such task and do all these different things, kind of like the diorama, but maybe not as sort of extensive as that. But if you want to skip that altogether, you can literally just buy it outright, because there are going to be people like that who you know, either are impatient like myself, or people who, you know, they don't really have the time to sit down and work their way through a game just to unlock stuff, so they'll just buy it, so then they can just jump into it sort of casually, in and out, things like that. But then if you don't want to pay for it, you can unlock it. So I think that's probably that could be a way that they do it. Ultimately, though, as I said, it's all about making money. It's a business, it's an industry, so they've got to do what they feel is right for them. But it'll be interesting to see how they're going to push forward with it without the season pass, if that's what they do. I mean, it's not completely confirmed, but it's, you know, it's strongly hinted at, but we'll have to see. And I guess we're not gonna find out much more until June for E3. I think that's when we'll see some gameplay reveal, and I think they said that slightly before E3 they're going to have like an EA Play, so people are going to be able to play it beforehand. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So it's looking. It's very exciting. I can't wait for it. I mean, like I said, I've already pre-ordered it, so that's gonna be fun. Really looking forward to seeing what they do with it and being able to sort of really jump back into the Star Wars universe, but in like the Battlefront kind of the setting, because I do like the Battlefront game. I think it's a bit unfair to say that it's literally just a mod for Battlefield. I think that's a bit unfair, because it does offer it has its own enjoyment from it, and as a Star Wars fan, I love it. I think it's great. So really excited to see what they do for the next one. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that. I've again, it's just been sort of a few notes here and there, and then I've just sort of waffled on a bit about some of the things that excite me about it, and you know, some of the things that I hope they do for it. I'm really hoping, I know this has been brought up several times, I'm really hoping they do the 1v1 lightsaber battle. That would be really, really cool. That, along with an offline conquest mode, much like the original Battlefront 2, with PS4 graphics, or I should say next gen, not just PS4, but next gen graphics and gameplay. The potential for that would be absolutely amazing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, these are some of the things that they're going to implement into the game. But obviously, we're not going to find out anything until probably about June time. So I guess I'll just carry on playing Battlefront for now. So yeah. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much. That's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks very much for watching, guys. And I'll see you in the next one.